The first group of the 249 soldiers from the SANDF who were deployed in the eastern DRC arrived on Friday from Tanzania, and they're expected to reach Bloemfontein this evening. And for more on this, let's now turn to SABC News reporter Makgala Masiteng, who is in Bloemfontein for us tonight. Makgala, thank you so much for your time. We've just seen at the Waterkloof Air Force Base the second batch of SANDF troops who have landed now this afternoon, and that's around 257 from the 249 in which we saw on Friday. What is it looking like on your end? We also understand that the third group will be landing there soon.
Thank you very much, Mbali. Yes, as you have indicated, I was struggling to hear you a bit in the beginning, but however, we are just standing outside the Air Force Base here in Bloemfontein, where we are expecting that those members of the SANDF who have landed at Waterkloof, of course, they will be traveling to Bloemfontein, where we are expecting them to come here, of course, for that process of demobilization. As it has been indicated, that process might take 3 to 4 days, where, of course, they will also get psychosocial support there, of course, just to establish their state of the mind. And of course, after that, they are expected to rejoin their units before they are being released back to their families. This is, of course, a standard procedure whenever the military is coming back from a war, to ensure that they are debriefed and everything is done properly, so that they are integrated back into their units, as well as back to their families. So what we have had so far, Mbali, with the second group that has just landed, we understand that part of that group will be using the bus traveling to Bloemfontein. So we're expecting them to arrive a little bit later on tonight. And also the other group, we understand they will be taking a flight. So we are expecting that first part of the second group to arrive a bit earlier here at the Air Force, and then the second part rather, will then be arriving at the Tempe base. So we will keep monitoring. Of course, we will get an update after 7 o'clock as to what's going to happen and how far they are, of course, in terms of arriving here in Bloemfontein. The first group, as I have indicated, that we have had, that they will be coming here with a flight, and then the other one will be traveling with a bus. So we'll get that indication, of course, an update as to how far they have gone. As you have seen there, my colleague Khumalo, they have landed at Waterkloof. Of course, this is part of the process of returning all the soldiers that have been sent to the DRC, as we have gotten the indication before that South Africa had already sent over 2,000 troops, of course, to the DRC. So we're expecting them to come back batch by batch until all of them are back in South Africa. But also we understand that the process of also bringing back the machinery and everything that they were using when they were in the eastern DRC, that process as well is also ongoing, Mbali.
Makgala, I mean, something that's very important that they will be undertaking in Bloemfontein is something that you touched on, the psychosocial support that will be given to the SANDF soldiers, particularly to reintegrate them back into society. I mean, what are officials saying when it comes to that process? How long is that process expected to take, and what does it actually entail?
What we do know, Mbali, is that that process might take 3 to 4 days, where they will be able to, of course, they are being assessed by various officials, your social workers, your psychologists, and after establishing if they are well and prepared, then they will be reintegrated back to their units. And then from their units, if authorities are happy with their state of the mind, their health, then they will be reunited with their families. Essentially, this process is just to assess their state of their mind and also their health, of course, to ensure that they are in good place to, of course, be reintegrated back to the communities. So we are told that that process might take 3 to 4 days, where they are being assessed and they are meeting various officials, your social workers, your psychologists, of course, being assessed their state of mind. And then from there, we would know, of course, if they are ready to be sent back to their units, and then from there they will then be reintegrated back to their families. The SANDF officials did indicate during the media briefing that this is a standard procedure, of course, to ensure that they are taken care of as they come back, of course, to represent the country under that volatile situation. We do know that, of course, we even lost 14 of those members during that fight there in the Eastern DRC. So this is a necessary process to ensure that as they come back, they are being assessed and they are being given the necessary attention that they need. Of course, depending on what will be found when they are being assessed, then they will be given those services, be it a psychological support, or they need to be sent to the hospitals to be taken care of. Those processes will all be included during this process of demobilization, and then they will be taken back, of course, to be reunited with their families. Of course, this is something that many South Africans have been waiting for, and especially their families. Of course, they've been waiting to be reunited with their family members after such a long time, and which was really emotional and tiring as well, Mbali.
Makgala, let's leave it there for this evening. Thank you so much for your time. That's SABC News reporter Makgala Masiteng there, giving us an update in terms of those SANDF soldiers who will be arriving at the Temple Air Force Base this evening. As she indicated, some will be flown and others will be traveling by bus. And as Kylie Kumala also indicated, that another group of troops is expected to arrive in South Africa tomorrow.